Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the corner and welcome to your latest Chelsea transfer news. Things are getting a little bit sticky icky. We need to now start to hurry up a little bit. We need to start to move a little bit quicker. The new season is upon us. The new season is now upon us. The transfer window, literally, I think there's only a handful of days left, maybe two weeks, just a tad bit more than 2 weeks. At the end of this month, the transfer window finishes. We're on the 11th of August, which means about 20 days left, less than 20 days left for this window to be shut and closed. And we still don't have Xavi Simons, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first topic that we're going to talk about. We're going to also talk about Garnacho, Nkunku, Nicholas Jackson. Look, all of these players, they need to get a move on. I don't want the season to start and some of these players to then slowly drip in and leave as well. I mean, some of them are not part of the squad at the moment anyway, but you want to have a settled group. You don't want to keep bringing in new faces and players leaving as well and disrupt this first month. You just want to shut up shop and get all types of business done and dusted already. Now, let's start things off with Xavi Simons. What's the latest? Look, I'm not going to lie. I know yesterday we dropped a video in regards to Xavi Simons, and I still said, look, I'm very confident. I am still confident, but it's getting a bit strange. This deal is starting to, some of the information that's coming from different Chelsea journalists out there, it's starting to, taste a little bit sour. And I don't know how long Xavi Simons stays patient. I don't know how long, Leipzig stays patient. Well, I don't even know if Leipzig wants to stay patient or what they're trying to do here. I mean, look, they just want their demands to be met. Are Chelsea being very, difficult with the demands, or are they being reasonable? Do you know what I mean? Like, are they actually negotiating this in the right manner? We're going to delve deep into all of that. Now, let's start with this news, which is coming from Nizar Kinsella. And many different journalists have been talking a different tune in regards to Xavi Simons in recent times. This one, Nizar Kinsella is saying, Chelsea have offered several players to Red Bull Leipzig for midfielder Xavi Simons, including Christopher Nkunku. Now, we've heard of this. We've heard of this previously in regards to Carney Chukwuemeka. We've heard about it in regards to Tyrique George. I'm just getting worried, like, Chelsea Football Club, do we want Xavi Simons or not? If we want Xavi Simons, then, is it wise is it wise? There's literally a notification right now. Let me just have a quick look. It's in regards to Nkunku and the Athletic, but this is 12 minutes ago. Chelsea's Christopher Nkunku open to Red Bull Leipzig return should interest advance. Chelsea forward Christopher Nkunku would be open to a return to Red Bull Leipzig this summer if his former club's interest in potential move advances. Nkunku has been a subject to inquiries from clubs in Germany, England, and Italy this summer. Leipzig are among a number of sides interested in the 27-year-old, but have some financial reservations about the logistics of a potential deal, given their need to keep their wage bill lower this season, having failed to secure European football. See, there you go. Like, they're interested in Nkunku, right? As you can see here, this is the news. They're interested in Nkunku, and literally, as we've been recording this, The Athletic just dropped an article. But the problem seems to be financial because, Nkunku's on certain wages, which Leipzig just cannot afford at the moment. They don't have European football. They don't have those extra income to pay Nkunku. Now, this is where I get a little bit worried. How much do we want Xavi Simons? It seems like we do want him, but at the same time, we dangling all of these players. Hey, Leipzig, take this guy, take that guy, when does it become a bit of an issue for Xavi Simons? I'm only thinking about the player, because the player has agreed terms and everything with us. He only wants Chelsea Football Club. When does the player turn around and say to Leipzig or even to Chelsea that, are you really interested in getting me, or are you only interested if you get rid of X, Y, Z? Now, from Chelsea's perspective, that completely makes sense. I get it. I hear it. We can't just simply be bringing players in. We need to get rid of players. Yes, we've gotten rid of players in recent times, of course, but we've also brought in players. But in order to bring more players in, we need some of these players gone. So, and I find it strange. Players like Nkunku, Sterling, Even Nicholas Jackson now, like, what are you guys waiting for? Like, honestly, what are you guys waiting for? Or is it the fact that you're on good wages at Chelsea Football Club and you don't feel the need to leave? There's no pressure to leave. Sure, okay, well, I'm not going to get any game time. I'm not part of the squad, but no one can force these players out. They've got a contract with Chelsea Football Club. If Nkunku wanted to stick around and stay, he can stay. And then, Enzo Maresca will have to integrate him in again. If, for instance, Sterling wants to stay, well, I think Sterling's case is different. But if he didn't want to leave anywhere, he can just keep collecting his wages. Doesn't have to play. Just keep collecting the wages. That's what what's his name? Danny Drinkwater did for ages. Ben Chilwell has been doing that for a while too. So look, this situation with Xavi Simons, I'm just getting a little bit scared. I'm a little bit scared, still confident, but just a tiny bit scared that it might just tick off the player. I think what Chelsea is doing from Chelsea's perspective is probably the right and logical, way to deal about this situation, because we need to get rid of players. From Leipzig's perspective, they only want what they are asking for, and we're going to get to that price very, very soon. But you can't be forcing Leipzig either. But the player, however, I think could turn around. It's part of a complex negotiation with Blues keen to offload players, having also offered both Carney, Chukwuemeka and Tyrique George. And look, if Leipzig says no to these, then there's not much we can do. Either we go and get our man, pay up the money, get our man, and then find different avenues for Nkunku and Sterling and Tyrique George if he needs to go as well. We have to find different solutions for them. But I think Chelsea's just worried that if we bring in Xavi Simons and we're unable to get rid of players, then we could be in a whole heap of mess. Leipzig aren't considering Christopher Nkunku as part of the deal for Xavi Simons. Nkunku no longer fits into their salary structure as he earns 20 million per year. And this is exactly what the Athletic article just talked about. Simons to Chelsea is still absolutely possible if they meet the 70 million euros demand. Now, how much is 70 million euros? 70 million euros to Great British pound. 60.5. So let's say 61 million, right? Well, let's just say 60 million. I think this is the issue. This is the other issue. So we've got issues in regards to getting rid of players. Then only we can bring in Xavi Simons. But we've also got a secondary issue, which is the 60 million pound issue. I think Chelsea Football Club only values Xavi Simons at 50 million. So some level of compromise needs to happen here between Chelsea and Leipzig. Chelsea don't want to pay the entire 60 million because they think that the player is about the 50 million mark, which makes sense because there's 2 years left in the contract. And Xavi Simons, yes, is a talented player, but 2 years left in the contract. Yeah, there should be a little bit of discount. I think so. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. This situation between Xavi Simons, Chelsea, and Leipzig, it's taking too long, and it's entering the zone of bit scariness, basically. Still confident, but as the days keep ticking over, that confidence level is just only going to keep dipping. Now, next up, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I can't go out there publicly and say that, Fabrizio Romano, all of these constant and consistent tweets about Alejandro Garnacho, I can't publicly go out there and say, oh, him and the player, they're up this. I can't. I can't. But have a look at this post, ladies and gentlemen. This came post our match against AC Milan. I found this so odd. Like, it almost seems like the entity that is forcing Chelsea Football Club to make this transaction is, I think, Fabrizio Romano. Now, Alejandro Garnacho, ladies and gentlemen, put this post on Instagram, right? As you can see, the hourglass, time ticking, Garnacho in the gym, seems distressed, wants the move, personal terms and all of that. Shenanigans have been agreed with Chelsea apparently. And he's distressed because he wants to move. He wants to come to Chelsea Football Club. He only wants Chelsea. He doesn't want anyone else. Now, Fabrizio Romano put this tweet out, put this post out, post our AC Milan match with that Instagram story and the picture, and he put down Alejandro Garnacho patiently waiting for his move to Chelsea to happen later in the window. I mean, Fabrizio Romano, you're a transfer pundit. You're a transfer guru. Like, what are you doing here? What is this post insinuating? Like, what's with all this sort of pushing Chelsea football? Like, I just find this strange. I really, really do find this strange. And honestly, at this point, you're going to have to somewhat believe that is the player directly in conversation? It has to be. The player must be in direct conversation with the journalist Fabrizio Romano. And is there some special dealings? I don't know. Like, it's a question mark. It's a question mark, and I just find this odd. Look, I still believe this is going to happen. Chelsea are very keen. The only stumbling block here really is the price. If Man United prices Chelsea, and now it's not in Man United's best interest to keep Garnacho. Obviously, at the same time, they want to make sure that they get the right price for Garnacho. Chelsea Football Club, we're adamant as well that we don't want to pay anything overs. We see it as a market opportunity, and the market opportunity is only an opportunity as long as it's in a discounted price. Anything that is in the realms of being a ridiculous offer or price, then it's not a market opportunity anymore. So let's see what happens. I think Man United wants something around the 50 million mark. 50 million, ladies and gentlemen, seems to be the price tag for everyone now. Tyrique went for 50 million. Few of the other players have gone for 50 million. And Man United are thinking, why should our man Garnacho be worth any less? Savinho, big news. Spurs are interested in Savinho, and looks like Manchester City are not going to be, come in between Savinho and Spurs. Spurs, Savinho also fancies Spurs, and he's potentially going for 50 million. Everyone is going for 50 million. And Man United are saying that, look, if you want Garnacho, he's going to go for 50 million. And that's where I say, Chelsea Football Club, please, at 50 million, it's not a market opportunity. At 30 million, however, sure, it is definitely a market opportunity. But I still would like to see the deal have similar sort of stipulation like the way we had for Sancho. Maybe a loan initially, and an option to send him back just in case it doesn't work out by paying a penalty. Basically, the loan fee, much like Sancho deal. But maybe Man United might not appreciate that. Maybe Man United, wants a permanent solution here, not a loan. So I just find this whole thing with Fabrizio Romano posting this on a regular basis, and now he's posting an Instagram story that was put up by Garnacho with this caption on it from Fabrizio. I just find the whole thing very, very odd. Now, check this out. This is doing the rounds on social media, ladies and gentlemen. Garnacho vaping. Someone obviously caught him vaping, and that's doing the rounds. Me, personally, I couldn't care less. Everyone's making a lot out of this. Oh, my God, he's vaping. Chelsea, look who you're getting. Unhealthy. Look, you think there are players not there who don't smoke cigarette? Like, come on. There's plenty of players out there who do this. And then, look, this is not that's concerning for me. And let me know if this is a concern. I may not know the whole ins and outs of vaping and whatnot. Let me know in the comment section. But for me, this isn't the worrying part. There are other big worrying parts in regards to this player, this For me, it's not. But this is actually doing the rounds on social media, which is crazy. Nicholas Jackson favors a move to Newcastle. Should he leave Chelsea during this transfer window? Coming from Jay Burt from the Telegraph. Look, Nicholas Jackson, another one. Brother, please find a solution ASAP. He's not part of our squad. He's not participating in the preseason matches, both of them, Bayer Leverkusen and AC Milan. And it seems like we're not missing him anymore anyway. We've got solution up front. We've got a lot of, ways to beat an opposition now. It seems like we've got a lot of firepower. We've got a lot of different answers to many different questions. And Nicholas Jackson, your time's up. And a message to Newcastle as well. Like, what's going on? What's going on, Newcastle? You bringing in a striker or not? Now the story is, they're not going to get rid of Isak. Isak's going to stay. Look, stop this foolery. Honestly, stop this foolery. Isak don't want to be in your football club. It's not wise to keep a player that just doesn't believe in your project anymore. Get rid of him. Find a solution with Liverpool. Get that money and move in quick for Nicholas Jackson, because all other strikers have been taken. Nicholas Jackson, I feel like, will do very well at Newcastle. And if it's not Newcastle, then Nicholas Jackson, find a home ASAP. And if you're not willing to find a home, or you're not worried about it, or you think, okay, well, I'll just stick around at Chelsea, well, then just fight then. Fight for your place. Stay, and maybe we don't get... I think if Nicholas Jackson ends up staying, then I'm worried that one of Xavi Simons or Garnacho is not going to happen. And if it's not Garnacho, fantastic. But yeah, that's if Nicholas Jackson stays. I'm probably somewhat hoping that he stays now, considering if that means that we don't get Garnacho. But it could also mean that we might not get Xavi Simons then. And that's something maybe I'm not too excited about. But on top of that, look, ultimately, Nicholas Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think he wants to be a third choice player or even a second choice player. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially in regards to Xavi Simons. Are you starting to get worried? Let me know your comments. And smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, take care. See ya. Bye.